Good morning, everybody. Pardon my froggy voice. I've got a little bit of a cold. Welcome to a slightly different version of Weekly Spark this week. I apologize. I do not have a wolf themed spread for you, even though that is the motif of December. But I have multiple pages to show you in my travel journal. Last week, my husband and I went on our vacation. We went to Universal Studios in Orlando, which is one of our favorite places. So we got a chance to go to the existing parks and also the new park, Epic Universe. So I always do a journal page about any trip. I have a separate travel journal, which is here, which is my Wanderlust passport. But then I also have been wanting to do in this journal here kind of a page a week so that it's very much of a diary. So instead of a wolf, I offer you multiple pages with inspiration from the trip. The travel journal has very thin paper and it doesn't like a lot of water media. So I have a lot of things that I've drawn, and it's very much a page, if you know, you know. If you've been to the parks before, then you might recognize a fault line from Richter's Burgers. You might recognize the keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times sign, the girl robot from the holiday parade. So just a little bit about the trip itself, the miles that we walked each day. And so this was something I actually worked on this one day in the park while I was serenaded by a violin player. It was amazing. But then I also have a more detailed couple of spreads here in this weekly journal because it kind of just started to grow as I was working on it. Like I mentioned, we go often to Islands of Adventure and Hollywood Studios, and so those are kind of familiar. They feel like home. And so I started this in the airport after we got a coffee at Illy in Philadelphia, wrote a little haiku. Sunrise at airport, a long-awaited vacation, epic adventures ahead. I like a haiku as the structure to give you something to work with, but it's short and it's very doable. So this page, still working on it, is about kind of encapsulates some things from Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. This was a float from their Macy's holiday parade. I'm going to do some text in this box. The theme for their tribute store was nutcrackers, and they had like a Frankenstein nutcracker and a Who from Dr. Seuss. They had all different themes. This guy was a classic and a little bit easier to draw. Earl the Squirrel, meet and greet. If you know, you know. And I had an amazing interaction with the Who's. They do a How the Grinch Stole Christmas show a couple times a day, and it's really fabulous. And so the Who's in costume with their little Who prosthetic noses on wander around. And this was a whole half an hour that we stumbled upon them, and I was the guest of honor, and they talked to me, and they sang a song, and they judged this. They each sang a song, and there was a judge for it was complete and utter mayhem improv. And really nobody was around but my husband and I. It's that kind of interaction with characters that you get at Universal that you don't get at some of the bigger parks, which I just adore.
Wow.
So there's going to be a picture here that I'm going to draw of this Minions banana flavored popcorn. Surprisingly good. So just kind of a travel page and a parks page. And yes, I'm using my Canon Ivy thermal printer quite a lot. There were a lot of times that my husband and I took pictures. I'm not going to draw us, but this is becoming a scrapbook in some ways about the trip. And I wanted to make sure that I drew some things in, but I wanted to kind of highlight some of the most memorable moments because I don't keep a scrapbook in another form. I keep a travel journal. So, we stayed at the Grand Helios Hotel, which opens into Epic Universe. And so this I haven't finished yet, but it is a very rough sketch that I did live of a complicated building with domes and buttresses and arches. And this housed the carousel. And it's a celestial themed carousel with animals from different constellations. And it was beautiful during the day and even more stunning at night, lit up. All of these carousel animals have different lights in their bodies that mimic the constellations, and it's truly a treat. So I did attempt to draw this while I was sitting, like I said, serenaded by a violin player. So we'll get some watercolor on that and bring out the blues and the teals that are kind of the colors of Epic Universe. It has a motif of circles since the main center hub is called Celestial Park. And so there are lots of moons and stars and circles, kind of comet trails and things like that. So stunning, absolutely stunningly beautiful. You think amusement park, theme park, rides, and it has that, but it also has so much natural beauty, fountains. It's just a gorgeous place to walk around. We went to the bar on the rooftop of the Grand Helios Hotel. The name of it escapes me right this second. Had amazing nosh and drinks. We went to the Atlantic Seafood Restaurant and the Blue Dragon Pan Asian and had amazing meals. Like, these are restaurants that you would make a reservation for and go to if they were out in the city where you live, if they were in a city that you were traveling to. The fact that they're in the theme park is really amazing because it's not just a lame burger or a flat piece of pizza. It was delicious, top-notch food. I've got some thoughts about the trip written down here in this little envelope. I'm still working on these pages, obviously, but I'll show you what I have so far. Now, I mentioned that the center hub was called Celestial Park. And so at the Kronos, which is the main gated entryway, there's a statue of Luna with her lunar hair, which I, of course, fell in love with immediately. There's a text around the back of it. The goddess Luna draws the veil across the worlds as colors pale. Her glowing face reflects the light and pulls the stars into the night. I mean, beautiful. Lit up at night, a little star on her belly. Her balancing component opposite is the Helios. He often gets called Apollo, but I call him the Helios because he's right in front of the Grand Helios Hotel with the lit. He's got an eagle companion. He's got a lit arrow. So I love this motif. Even before I get to the park, I loved it and was a fan. A little close-up of Luna. So everything decorated for Christmas, moving kind of artwork in the hotel that changed for the course time of day, morning things and nighttime things, and really stunning. This beautiful nymph with a comet was outside Stardust Racers, which is a roller coaster. Didn't get to ride that one this time, but definitely next time. So inspired by the beauty of the park, for sure. Now, there's a whole storyline that goes with it about these Celestian beings that have opened up a time portal, and they've opened portals into 4 different lands. And it's amazing that there's so much thought and story in this amusement park, this theme park. One of the lands is Darkmoor, so the Dark Universe, and it connects to the intellectual property that Universal has of all of the classic movie monsters. Yes, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, they're all there. So a meet and greet with Frankenstein and his bride. Too amazing. Each portal has a quote that references what the land is. And so you're entering Dark Universe and it says, it's alive, referencing Frankenstein. A portal that I didn't spend as much time in, but my husband really enjoyed. I mean, I rode some rides and it was wicked fun, but it was, wow, is Super Nintendo World. Here we go. You go up an escalator like you're whooshing in an entry into a video game. Very interactive. If you're into that thing and collecting points, you can connect it to the app. But very much fun. The Isle of Berk. Here, my friends have dragons. I only recently saw the animated movies and the live action and quickly became a fan of Berk. This huge Viking statue had flames in his mouth, and he was partnered with a dragon statue with flames, which, if you've seen the movie, are right there in the harbor of the town. There are different dragon sigils for the different types of dragons that I'm going to draw in there, but the theming was amazing. There was something to look at everywhere. Hysterical meet and greet with the twins, Rough Nut and Tough Nut. I mean, just hysterical. So, really enjoyed that land. Super fun roller coaster. Yeah, great theming. Would go back in a heartbeat. There is Harry Potter Land, and that is a topic for another day, but I really appreciate the artwork of Mina Lima, who do the graphics for Harry Potter. They do all of the posters and whatnot. And so some delicious food and drink, really beautiful immersive land. Although I'm not a fan of J.K. Rowling. If you know, you know. So I'll just leave that there. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different spreads for a 4-day vacation. Yeah, that's what I've been working on lately. That's why I haven't done a wolf page, but this is what I do. This is a little peek into my more personal pages, my more personal journals. So I hope you've enjoyed that. His hat folds down because I drew him too big and he doesn't fit on the page right there. Yeah, doing most of this after the fact. I did the travel journal spread that I showed you earlier while I was on site, but most of this is happening now. These are printed off my computer because they're larger images. You can see I did use a lot of those Canon Ivy prints, but I'm also trying to draw on every page and really just kind of encapsulate the trip we had. So forgive me for not having a wolf page, but thank you for coming along on this travel with me. And I'm sorry for my froggy voice. Gonna drink a little bit more coffee and get some Christmas presents made. But it's been a busy month so far, and I will plan on getting one wolf page to you up before the year ends. But I also have some things to talk about and tell you my plans for Weekly Spark as we move forward into 2026. So thank you for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe. Maybe I'll show you my face again when I'm not all cold and stuffy. And stay tuned next week. I'd love to hear any comments, whether you've been to Universal or not. And like I said, thanks for tuning in. Give this channel a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.